For over 100 years, the BC Wildfire Service has managed wildfire on the landscape of British Columbia. From the Pacific Ocean to diverse mountain ranges, our province represents over 900,000 square kilometers of natural beauty and is home to over 5 million people. In our early years, our wardens patrolled the land for wildfire to protect the province's forest resources. By mid-century, our mandate expanded to support the growth of the rural economy, and our tools and tactics evolved to meet the needs of the day. By the end of the century, as growing communities further expanded into forests and wildland, wildfire came to the doorstep of British Columbia's rural communities, and our organization adapted with an expanded focus on community protection and wildfire prevention. The BC Wildfire Service utilizes the 4 pillars of emergency management to fulfill our duty to protect our province. The 4 pillars are mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. With the implementation of the 4 pillars, BC Wildfire Service is not just protecting forests. We are protecting people, infrastructure, and communities. Fire is a normal and natural process in many of BC's ecosystems. However, it is also a unique threat and must be met with a variety of proactive and reactive strategies, requiring collaboration at all levels. On average, we see about 1,500 wildfires in BC each year, burning over 400,000 hectares of our province. In 2021, British Columbia faced one of its most challenging fire seasons on record. Temperatures climbed throughout June, culminating in a historic heat dome that broke records and affected the entire province. The dryness and extreme heat raised fire danger to extreme levels. These conditions persisted throughout the province and lasted into August in some regions, making fuels extremely dry and susceptible to ignition. This, combined with repeated severe lightning events, which resulted in more than 200,000 lightning strikes, contributed to an average of 40 new fire starts a day, challenging fire behavior, rapid fire growth, and increased growth on existing wildfires. Overall, resulting in 1,610 wildfires that burned 868,203 hectares across BC from April 1st to September 30th. Over 60% of those fires were naturally caused. At the peak of the 2021 season, nearly 4,000 personnel were involved in response efforts. In order to be successful, BC Wildfire Service is dependent upon the strength, resilience, and dedication of our people who work in 6 regional fire centers and 2 headquarters across the province. Each year, we employ over 1,000 wildland firefighters. Our firefighters are configured onto 4 different types of highly mobile crews, including initial attack crews, who often arrive on scene first to assess and respond to a new wildfire. RAP attack crews, who rappel or hoist from a helicopter to gain access to fires in steep, challenging, and remote terrain where a helicopter cannot set down. Para-attack crews, who parachute from an airplane to access fires in challenging and often very remote locations. And 20-person unit crews, who most often perform sustained action response on fires that are larger and can no longer be managed by initial attack crews alone. The majority of all wildfires in British Columbia are quickly contained and extinguished by personnel on the ground. Our highly trained crews are successful in containing over 90% of all wildfires in BC by 10 a.m. the day after they are initially discovered. Aviation resources, including rotary and fixed-wing aircraft, also assist ground crews as needed. In 2021, 9 air tanker groups were strategically stationed throughout the province, including 1 group from Alberta. Air tankers completed about 700 missions during the fire season, supporting our crews on the ground. In addition to firefighters and aviation resources, our organization includes professionals in a variety of fields. These professionals also shift roles during the fire season and fill incident command system positions. Our workforce is adaptable, inclusive, and united. We approach our work with an open, innovative mindset, and we know that we can't do it alone, which is why we value our partnership. Our organization relies heavily on the support and cooperation from our partners, including Indigenous nations, local governments and communities, provincial agencies, academic institutions, and national and international emergency management and wildfire organizations, as we work collectively to contribute to a more resilient British Columbia. At the peak of the 2021 wildfire season, over 1,400 contracted personnel were also involved in response efforts. The forest industry redirected significant resources to help with firefighting efforts. Industry equipment was strategically placed throughout the province, allowing for faster response to new incidents and access to important pieces of heavy equipment. Forest industry personnel provided crucial support on many large wildfires, and they responded directly to a number of wildfires with minimal assistance from BC Wildfire Service. We have always shared our knowledge and firefighting expertise throughout the years with our partners and have deployed resources both nationally and internationally. In recent years, we supported the US, Australia, and provinces across Canada with the deployment of personnel. The spring of 2021 saw stable fire activity levels in BC, which allowed BC Wildfire Service to lend firefighting resources to Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. As fire activity in BC increased, we in turn received support from over 900 out-of-province personnel. In 2021, we worked closely with First Nations to improve coordination, help our team gain heightened cultural awareness and understanding, and harness local traditional information on many wildfires. We have learned to rely on our partners' diverse expertise and capacity, and we have recognized that building lasting partnerships requires a foundation of transparency, trust, and collaboration. Meaningful engagement throughout the life cycle of an emergency helps our organization deliver service to communities effectively. For more than a century, the BC Wildfire Service has enhanced our expertise and built a record of achievement as a professional wildfire fighting organization. We know that we cannot assume that the way we have always done things will continue to work. We are committed to learning, and as climate change, extreme weather, and shifting forest conditions impact our province, we will shift and advance our tactics and response in order to protect and promote what makes BC special. In order to protect the landscape, we must understand it, and we are committed to implementing an approach based on science and experience to execute strategies that work. This allows us to be better informed, safer, and more efficient in all areas of our business. Throughout recent years, the BC Wildfire Service has increasingly taken on responsibilities associated with preparing for and responding to natural hazards such as floods and landslides, as well as other emergencies. As the province of British Columbia joins governments around the world in a whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach to emergency management, the BC Wildfire Service will continue to provide world-renowned firefighting expertise and will evolve into a natural hazards response organization. This approach will emphasize risk reduction, preparedness, collaboration, and integration across agencies. As we face new challenges and change as a province, the BC Wildfire Service is ready to respond the right way, not just with suppression and boots on the ground, but through the implementation of innovative programs and resources. Over the next 5 years, we are shifting from a largely seasonal workforce to a year-round organization that can continue to be relied upon and trusted by British Columbians to deliver wildfire management, natural hazard preparedness, and response services. Throughout our 110-year history, we have adapted and expanded to meet the changing needs of the day. The BC Wildfire Service is more than just a branch of government. We are a collection of people, programs, and resources dedicated to supporting and protecting our province and the people of British Columbia.